Look what I have today. Some chicken marsala with some fresh mushrooms and some asparagus. Take a seat, get comfortable, come see how I made it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pan sear this chicken. So I have my chicken breasts over here. I always take my chicken breasts and I slice them lengthwise, making 2 pieces out of each chicken breast. I like them thinner like that. It's just a texture, consistency thing for me. I don't like a really thick chicken breast. This also makes them thinner and easier to cook in the pan. So I've got 2 chicken breasts that I've sliced and made into 4 chicken breasts here. So those are ready. I've got my pan warming up to medium-high. So I've got some flour. I'm going to mix in some of this Cajun two-step. I don't know if that was a tablespoon or 2, but I want to give it a little bit of seasoning. Just mix that around in the flour. Okay. And so now, in my pan, I'll take the lid off, get a tablespoon of butter, and about a tablespoon of my extra virgin olive oil. Get that melted, and then we're just going to lightly sear this chicken on each side and then set it aside so we can make the mushrooms and the sauce. I absolutely love chicken marsala. You know, you could serve this with mashed potatoes, with pasta, with rice. But today I'm just electing to serve it with some asparagus or something lighter, but it does make its own sauce, so you can put it over something. All right, got that. Now I've got my chicken breasts. I'm going to put those in the flour. There went the flour. You know how it is in my kitchen. If I didn't make a mess, I didn't have fun. All right, last one. All right. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Get those brown. I'm excited to have this. I love chicken marsala. I haven't had it for a while. I love mushrooms. This makes its own sauce. Very excited to have this today. So I'm just going to let this go for a couple of minutes. Let it brown a little bit, and then I'll flip it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip my chicken. Don't want to cook it too long because we're going to be stewing this in this sauce that we're making. So just giving it a little bit of sear on each side. All right, we'll let this side go for just a couple of minutes. Okay, the chicken has been seared a little bit on each side. I'll go ahead and pull this off. This is a clean plate. This wasn't the plate I had my raw chicken on. But go ahead and pull this aside. And now we're going to make the sauce. Now I add a tablespoon of butter. Now I'm going to add some fresh garlic, always. About a tablespoon maybe. Okay, I have the butter melted and the garlic is in there, so now I'm going to go ahead and add in my sliced mushrooms. I love portobello mushrooms. All right, just going to let this go for a couple minutes. Okay, my mushrooms are just about done. so now I'm going to add in my Marsala wine. And this is, I've got 13 ounces here. I'm going to add in the whole thing. You just let this slowly simmer until the mixture reduces by half. So we'll just let this slowly simmer until it reduces down. Go through and just kind of scrape your pan so all the little bits and flavors that are in this pan get put into the sauce. The sauce is thickening, but I have my fresh asparagus. If you haven't ever made fresh asparagus before, you just snap off the ends, and that's all you do. And so this is the part you use, and this is what you toss. Alright, so my sauce has reduced. Now it's ready for me to add in the chicken stock. I've got 2 cups of chicken stock. And now we'll let this cook until the sauce thickens up a little bit. So now I'm going to take the chicken that we had set aside, bring it back into our pan, and you let this stew for about 7 or 8 minutes to cook the chicken the rest of the way through. Make sure that you test the sauce as this cooks. Because the longer this stews, the more it's going to evaporate and condense and become more strong. So you want to be testing it as it goes, because the longer it goes, it's going to taste more concentrated. That's the word I'm looking for. So just needs to go a couple more minutes. And then I did save my flour to the side, because if it needs to be thickened up a little bit more, if you want it a little thicker than it is, once the chicken has cooked through, you can add a little bit more of your flour to kind of thicken that up a little bit. But I would take a little bit of the broth, put it aside in a bowl, and whisk in a little bit of flour so that there won't be clumps in your sauce. But I'm going to let this go for a few more minutes and kind of test out and see where my sauce is at. I did taste it, and I do want mine to get a little bit more concentrated. So we'll check back in a couple minutes. So,
Open stein! Open stein!
God, Brenda. Alright, my timer has gone off for my chicken, so I am going to pull the chicken out briefly, just a couple of minutes to get the asparagus cooked up. I like them to be nice and crispy, so it won't take long. I just want to pull the chicken out just long enough to get those cooked through just a bit. Oh. I'm going to pop on the lid, and this will only take a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm going to pull the asparagus out. Didn't go very long. If you like your asparagus more soft and not crispy, cook it longer than I did. Only did mine maybe 4 minutes. Yeah, gee, almost it. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this Italian 4 cheese on top of the asparagus. Let that kind of sit there a minute. Now we'll get our chicken put back in here. Lid over that. And we'll get our chicken put back in. Add in our 2 tablespoons of butter. You can see that the sauce has thickened up quite a bit, which is good. That's what we want. Just let this butter melt, and then we'll taste this. Okay, I'm going to taste the sauce. Make sure it's where I want it. I like it. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of this 4 cheese on top of each piece of chicken. turn my burner off. A little bit of green chives on top of these. And then I'm gonna put the lid on it just for a minute for that cheese to melt. I'm gonna hit this asparagus with just a little bit of salt. Okay, so I'm going to try some of this. I'm gonna put some asparagus. That's a yummy cheese on that asparagus. And then a piece of chicken. Lots of the yummy cheese. Okay, so I've got the chicken in here and the asparagus, and now I'm going to ladle some of this sauce over here. Make sure I get some of these mushrooms. Gotta have lots of mushrooms in chicken marsala. Alright, got that. Let's put a little bit of green chives on top for the last finishing touch. Alright, there it is. Finished product. We get to test it now. Yum, cheesy. Okay. I love cooking with wine. That Marsala wine in there. Creamy sauce, mushrooms, cheese, tender chicken. That's amazing. Absolutely love that. I'm going to be making these into lunches for myself for this week. This is so, so good. Okay, let's try some of this asparagus. Hopefully I cooked it briefly enough that it still has the crunch that I like. It's really good with the sauce on it. Nice and crunchy. Check that one out. Definitely on one of my favorites. I love Marsala and cooking with wine. That is really good. Make sure you check out all my other content. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And Let's Cook with Michelle. All of my full videos are always on YouTube. Have a good day.